Hey there, this is Greg the Masked Gamer coming to you with some more Final Girl Fridays. Today we're going to go up against the Eyeless and Utopia in Don't Make a Sound. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is a place for COVID cautious folks to talk about board games. You're perfectly welcome to be here if you're not COVID cautious, provided there's no minimization, denialism, or harassment of any kind. With that said, I am here by myself today because Final Girl is a solo game, so I will not be wearing my mask and you get to see my face while I die horribly. Now, I've completed successfully one of the previous four feature films in season 3, and here we go, we're going to try number 5. So, lots of stuff going on here that's different from previous ones. Our special rules. We have a little noise track, which you can't even see on my overhead because I only show the killer and the location, but things I do will make noise. If noise is higher, there's more likelihood that terrible things will happen to me because this is a quiet place and the killer moves towards sound. That's it for that. But Utopia's got some interesting stuff. We have a Sand Snakes deck, complete with some terrible sand snakes. So we're going to put these little sand snakes over here that I think just pop up and kill things and then disappear again, but we're just going to leave them on the board anyway. And there might be sinkholes, and locations might get locked off because of sinkholes. These locations that have the rocks are immune to sand snakes. And that's pretty much all there is to go through before we dive into our... I have so many books flying all over the place here. Utopia, Gruesome Deaths. I didn't even get to read a single gruesome death from Marek Warehouse and the Tormentor because I saved every human, killed the Tormentor. I was like, oh my god, I was like Jamie Lee Curtis. I was basically Jamie Lee Curtis in the last video. But in this video, I might not be quite as good. So let's find our lore book, and we're going to read about the Eyeless and our heroine, Meghan. Meghan's special ability lets her heal when the killer moves into her space. This is Meghan. She's our friend. Okay, but let's read about the Eyeless. The Eyeless in Utopia. Okay. Ezekiel Johnson was passing through Utopia on the day the residents of Utopia were slaughtered. He left the general store, cola in hand, and headed back to his car. Suddenly he heard a thunderous roar like a jet plane tearing through the sky. He looked up, shielding his eyes from the sun, and saw an unidentifiable flying object falling towards the earth with a trail of smoke behind him. He waited for the explosive impact as it fell behind some boulders in the distance, but no sound of impact ever came. Curious about what he'd seen, Ezekiel drove his pickup truck out towards where he thought the thing should have landed. As he drove around the boulders and the land opened up before him, he saw it. An egg-shaped craft was hovering about 40 feet above the ground, out in the middle of nowhere. He stopped the truck a few hundred yards away and got out. Ezekiel had seen enough in his 62 years to know not to get too much closer. He wondered if it was something from the government or not of this world. The black metal of the craft seemed woven in an intricate pattern. There was a large hiss at the bottom of the craft. Oh, there was a large hiss, and the bottom of the craft began separating from the top and slowly lowering towards the ground. It was not falling, but more like hovering down. As it lowered, Ezekiel could make out some kind of gelatinous blob on the platform. After a few moments, he realized it was like melting. It didn't seem like ice exactly, but the heat of the desert environment certainly seemed to contribute to the speed with which the blob was quickly deteriorating. The spine on the top of the Eyeless's head was the first thing Ezekiel saw, and then its face. It seemed to only have skin where you would expect the eyes to be. At that moment, he knew that this was not anything from this planet Earth. He remained transfixed, but slowly moved back into his truck. By the time the Eyeless was halfway unfrozen, Ezekiel realized that he was probably in great danger, and he was right. Ezekiel sped off back towards the town, adjusted his rearview mirror to keep an eye on the creature. He could see it was conscious and moving. It was trying to free its legs, and it had several of them, as the platform continued to hover down from the surface. A few seconds later, it succeeded and jumped off the platform and shrieked. Ezekiel stepped on the gas and realized the Eyeless was bounding after him. He sped right past the general store and saw the owner of the general store, Vic, run out to scold him for driving so fast through the town. "There's kids around here, you know," Vic yelled, but no sooner had the last word left Vic's mouth than the eyeless bounded in and tore him limb from limb. Ezekiel gasped in horror and continued driving as fast as he could towards the old Jeep trail. Okay, our final girl here is going to be Meghan. Meghan. Meghan Gummit knows how to survive. She grew up in Utopia and never had anything handed to her. She learned at a young age that tackling problems head on is usually the best approach. But in the harshness of the desert and her boredom with small town living has pushed her to a decision. It is time to leave Utopia. Under normal circumstances, it would be easy to pack up and leave town, but when your parents are doomsday planners and think the world is going to shit at any moment, it becomes a little tougher. And when it actually does go to shit, leaving town becomes basically impossible between the alien and the frickin' stand snakes and the sinkholes. So anyway, tips for playing with Meghan. Meghan is a survivor, and once her ultimate is unlocked, she'll be getting a steady stream of health recovery. It might not seem like much at first, but when you realize that if she's at full health, it turns into horror reduction, the power of her ability becomes evident. Stay stocked with movement cards and try not to camp in the killer's space so that it has to move to you. All right, we're gonna reveal our first event and get this party started. We start off in town with a defiant teenager. There's, of course, the one meeple left in the box. "You don't know shit, old man," says the defiant teenager. The teenager starts in the general store, which is nice because I too am in the general store. The kid is a show-off, and during upkeep moves 2 spaces towards the largest group of victims. Other victims will not follow you while the teenager is in your space. Okay, well that's not good, because I don't want the teenager with me. I want to be rescuing people going off in other directions. Gosh darn it. Okay, so every time I play an action card, I'm gonna keep doing this terrible accent. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's not gonna stop. We also played Townsfolk Tussle the other day, me and a friend, and we were doing something real bad. She was Granny Melba, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm a Granny." Anyway, let's just get going here. Okie dokie. So horror starts off pretty strong on this map, but that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's going to be okay. We're just going to head towards trying to rescue somebody as soon as possible and move away from this monster. So we're going to roll a walk roll. And I have, I mentioned this before. I only show the monster board and the killer board. I don't show the whole tableau because we're already zoomed out enough as it is, and that is what it is. So I got 1 success that cost me 1 time, raises my noise by 1, and I get to. I'm just gonna leave that teenager in the general store to get killed. I really don't care about the defiant teenager. I am going to walk again and try to rescue this person. I am going to have to discard 2 cards to turn that into a success. I'm going to raise the noise by 1, spend 1 time, and I am going to take somebody out of this hellhole already. We're going to just drop that on this reduce 2 horror piece on Megan's board to try to just get this party started. Oh, we're going to be able to save a whole bunch of people. I'm going to save onto these focus cards because I don't want to be too noisy just in case it's absolutely terrible. And plus that gives me 4 other actions. So I'm going to go ahead and take 2 sprints and try to save as many as people as quickly as possible is going to be my plan for this. Then the killer is going to go. So the killer is going to move 1 space, only 1 space, towards the nearest things. So we've got people in the mechanical tower, the sheep farm, and the Jeep trail. I'm going to assume the sheep farm makes the most noise, and that's going to be the direction that it goes in. Wherever I think there's the most noise anyway is where the eyeless is going to go. Let's draw a tarot card and see what happens. This thing is too fast for us. It is going to move towards and kill someone. Well, it's going to kill 2 people right away. We're going to start off by killing dead the person in the space that it just ran into, and we get to read some deaths already. So that was much faster than Marikatopia. Okay, the thing is too fast for us. Okay. Jason could tell they weren't going to make it. Despite their head start, that creature was just too damn fast. He could feel their lead rapidly diminishing as the creature bounded towards him. Next to him, Carol let out a cry of fear and frustration as she struggled to keep pace. A pang of anger flashed through Jason. He wasn't going to die like this. He was so close to his barn, he just needed to slow that blasted creature down somehow. One moment, Carol was pumping her legs as fast as she could, her heart feeling like it was about to explode, and the next she was lying face down in the dirt, ankles sore from when Jason had kicked them. Jason could hear her scream as the creature tore her apart. He slammed the reinforced barn door shut and locked it. Oh, he let her die. He had survived. No way in hell that creature was getting through that door. Sure, he had to trip Carol to do it, but better he lived than they both die, he reasoned. What a douche. Jason heard a loud thump as the creature slammed into the barn door repeatedly. He started laughing. How pathetic. That creature didn't know when to give up. Suddenly, with a loud crash, the creature came smashing through the barn door, and Jason let out a scream as it bore down. So that is one death here. That's going to raise our horror up by 1. And then it's going to move and attack somebody else. I'm pretty sure that that Jeep trail is making more noise than that quiet boulder space. So it's going to come over to that Jeep trail. When do I do the... I do the sand snakes at the end of the killer turn. Okay. So it killed somebody else in the Jeep trail, and I immediately discard the next terror card. So I guess the thing that's going to happen here is this is just going to happen fast. We're now at the end of the killer phase, which means we're going to have to reveal 2 sand snakes. So our first sand snake card says a sand snake attacks at the scrapyard. That's here. It does damage to 1 target on that space using the following priority. Next, we are going to do a sand snake attacks at the trailer park. If it is collapsed, something else happens. But it's here at the trailer park. Sand snake does 1 damage there. So that's where our sand snakes are. Now it says I'm supposed to, after attacking, they immediately burrow back underground. I'm just going to leave them up where they are for some table presence for myself, and then they'll go away at a later date. So there is nothing in any space that was killed that is still alive this turn. So nobody panics. We go to the upkeep phase. Nothing really to do in this upkeep phase. Oh, do we lower the noise marker down? I think we do. Let's see. It resets to 0 at the end of the upkeep phase. It's 0. And then we go on to do our next turn. Not great, not terrible, not great, not terrible. We're going to start with a sprint, which is going to raise our noise by 1, and we're going to try to rescue some more people. I got 1 success, which gives me 2 movements, so that's 1 and 2, and I rescue 2 more people with that. I'm going to take oh gosh, that's sad. I don't even have nothing to heal. I'm going to use one of those to move 1 space back to the crossroads, and the other to pop on a heal. And then I'm going to sprint again. See if we get that ability I want right at the beginning here. I'm going to go ahead and discard 2 cards to make that a movement 2 time 1. I got nothing left in my hand, but that's okay because I am well on my way to rescuing people, and that is more important than anything else. I get to spend 4 more points this turn. Let's see here. What can I do with 4? I don't got no weapons yet. I'm probably going to be ready to start a fight. Let's take 2 search cards to have them so that we can try to get some weapons for later on. Is I think the best approach there. Okay, I'm at noise 2. At the beginning of the killer's turn, it's going to move 1 space towards the nearest person, which the most noise is going to be coming from that electrical tower, so it's going to go back to this old dirt road. We're going to reveal our cards. On the hunt. So first, we raise horror by 1. Then, if noise is 4 or higher, something really terrible happens, but it's not, it's only 2. So it is going to just move towards the nearest person and go ahead and kill them. So we are going to read the on the hunt event. So this guy does kill people really fast, for sure. The hunt. Catherine bit down hard into her hand to stop herself from screaming. She could hear the soft padding of the creature as it circled the outcropping she and a few other townsfolk were taking cover on. It knew they were near, it was hunting them, trying to pinpoint their locations. It was stalking by her again, drool leaking from its massive blood-stained mouth, when suddenly it stopped. A low series of clicks began to emanate from the creature. Catherine could feel her pulse quicken as she bit down harder. Could this thing have some kind of echolocation? Was she about to die? Her mind spun deliriously as the creature's hideous face slowly got closer to hers, the clicking sound getting louder and faster with every second. Suddenly, a loud scream broke out nearby, and the creature rushed off shrieking it had found its prey. So it ate her. This goes up 1. We raise another horror, bringing our horror from 5 to 6. And then at the end of the killer phase, we're going to do 2 sand snakes. So these are going to bury back onto the ground over here. And the first Sand Snake. After resolving and discarding the other Sand Snake cards that were drawn, shuffle this and all cards in the Sand Snake discard pile back into the deck. The Sand Snake attacks the general store. The Sand Snake does 1 damage to 1 target on that space using the following priority. That is the Defiant Teenager getting killed and taken out of the way, and we're not even, it can die all at once. Let's see if we have any deaths for Sand Snakes. Those are general deaths. So maybe there's some basic ones at the start of the book. Yeah, there's some basic ones for Utopia. Yeah, so there's a chart for general Sand Snake kills. So we're gonna roll one of these. Let's see. The ground broke beneath Jennifer, dirt and rock flying into the air. A huge sand snake wriggled up from beneath her and opened its cylindrical mouth, revealing thousands of oozing needle-like teeth. It called out with a wretched screech and then devoured her in a single gulp. And I don't even care that she's dead, because she was defiant and annoying and stuff. The one thing that is bad is this means we're already revealing our dark power, which is going to be quick counter. After you attack the eyeless, place it in your space and you lose a health. So if I used ranged attacks, it's still gonna be like attacking me back. But that's good because that'll work pretty well with Meghan's ability here. And because we drew that card, we're gonna shuffle all of these Sand Snake cards back into the deck. Now I don't think anything has happened with Sinkhole yet. Because it'll say collapse if it would actually sink, so that hasn't happened. The Sand Snakes do not prevent that from happening. Now the good news here, I mean, it hasn't been good for us yet, but part of the good news here is that the Sand Snakes can also hurt the boss. So that's pretty fun. And for some reason, the boss just doesn't hurt the Sand Snakes, but sure. Okay, panic phase. Nothing died in a space where somebody still is. Upkeep phase. We're going to reduce noise to 0. And then it's my turn. I'm just going to be able to leisurely take a stroll and get these folks out of here. So we're going to take a leisurely little walk. And we're just going to help them escape. I'm going to go ahead and discard a short rest and a weak attack to allow myself to move 1 space with making 1 sound and rescue these final 2 people. I get a free sprint action card and I heal 1, but I don't have anything that I can heal. But I've already unlocked my ultimate ability. When the killer moves into your space or you move into theirs, you may recover health. If you're already at full health, you will reduce a horror instead. So that's the fastest I have unlocked an ultimate ability in quite some time. So now we're going to head and start buying some stuff to fight the monster with. We're going to just head straight towards it because we're going to head straight towards the general store, actually, with that sprint we just picked up. I whiffed my sprint. Okay. Good news is I got to roll 2 dice. I'm going to move 1 space, lose 1 health, spend 2 time, and my turn immediately ends. That gives me 3 time to purchase other things. I already have 2 searches in my hand. I already have a walk in my hand. What do I want to do with these 3? Oh, it's going to get kind of scary up in here, so let's go ahead and grab a distraction. I think the best thing to do, and hopefully negate some of that. All right, killer turn. So the killer is going to move 1 space towards the killer or a final girl. This sandworm just came up, so it's definitely going to head into that general store where all that noise was coming from. Is it nearby? If the eyeless is within 2 spaces of you, which it is, I increase the noise level by 1, making it 3. Now, because it's 3, it is going to move straight into my space and attack. I see how this works now. So it's going to attack me and do 3 damage, bringing me down to 1 health. Okay, so... Oh, whenever it moves into my space, I heal 1, so I got to heal from that also. So I got to heal when it moved into my space, and then it did 3 damage. Okay. But luckily, that was that card, so that's fine. The Sand Snakes are going to go back underground. We're going to reveal some cards. A sand snake attacks at the old road. That's here. And then a sand snake attacks at... If you are on a rock space, you can discard this with no effect. Otherwise, it will attack you on your space. But I'm on a rock space, so I'm safe. Dun, 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 dun. And lower that to 0. Okay, the plan was to get some items, which hasn't really worked out that great, because the monster's on my space now. I'm going to go ahead and do a walk and just head to that general store. I whiffed that. Yeah, I'm going to take 1 damage, move the 1 space here, raise the noise by 1, lower my sound by 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and search, and I get an extra die because I only have 1 health. And I got 2 successes, so I'm going to be able to take the top 2 cards of this space and choose one. And they are the Canteen, which I can discard to get 6 time, or a Flare Gun, which can only modify the weak attack action. If I deal damage to the killer, I reduce horror. Or I can discard a Tracking Marker, and all victims within 3 spaces move 1 space closer to me. What's a Tracking Marker? Tracking marker? I don't know. I guess discard a tracking marker. There's nothing about tracking. Guess maybe that's that symbol, but I don't really know what the tracking marker is. It's only going to do 1 extra damage. I think I'm actually better off taking this canteen, because it's going to give me extra time and I need to get some defenses happening. Yeah, so I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to go ahead and drink the canteen, which is something I don't think would make any noise, which is going to give me 6 action points, bringing me up to 9. And then I will be able to use that to buy some more cards. I'm not going to make any more noise right now because of where my health is at. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and buy 9 points worth of cards. That's going to be 4 for Retaliate, bringing me down to 5. We'll do 2 for a Guard, bringing me down to 3. Currently have how many cards in my hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so can I get 1 more card? I'm going to go ahead and take another distraction, knowing that noise is about to get really bad. Okay. Killer's going to move 1 space towards the place that has the most, towards a victim, actually. So it's going to head towards the water tower. And then we're going to go ahead and draw the next terror card. Blinding Speed, that sucks. Any victim that panics to another space during the panic phase is killed. Oh. And I'm going to have to do 2 damage to that to kill it, which is suffering succotash, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. Oh! And then we do Sand Snakes. A sand snake attacks at the scrapyard, that's here. A sand snake attacks at the general store. Oh no! It's going to attack me. I'm going to use my guard because I only have 1 health left. And I get to roll 3 dice. I got 1 success, so that reduced damage by 2, and I did not be killed by sand snake. Okay. Now it's my turn again. All right. So, firstly, I want to try to get my horror down so I can start rolling more dice. So we're going to roll for distraction. That sucked. We're going to discard. We're going to discard a walk and a focus to make that 1 success, and then we're going to discard a. We're going to discard a focus and the other distraction to make that 2 successes. So I reduce my horror by 2 and I get 2 time. Noise goes up by 1. Not ideal, but it's We're going to now search. I rolled 1 success on a search. Noise goes up by 1, time goes down by 1, and we get to take something else from the general store. This is much nicer. It is a scoped rifle. It can only shoot 2 to 3 spaces away, but if I'm on a boulder, it can be used at a range of 4, and it adds 2 damage to my attack. So that is going to be a good way to start dealing some damage to things. I'm also going to use a short rest because I'm not feeling great. That gave me 1 success, lowers time by 1, raises noise by 1, heals me by 1. I'm going to hold on to my retaliate. I'm going to hold on to my weak strike. That brings me to 6. That brings me to 6 time. Oh, I could get a critical blow here. Oh, it's scary to do that, though. Let's go ahead and take a long rest and a throw action, and later on I can throw my rifle at the boss. I hope that's... Okay, so we're going to put the search here, focus, distraction, walk, focus, distraction, guard, search, walk. Okay, now it's the baddie's turn. Our noise is at 3, which is very loud, and it's going to first move 1 space. Well, actually, it's in a space with... Oh, I think move 1 space means that it has to move. Even if it's on a space with another person, it's going to move towards somebody else. So I think it's going to make a move towards this other person by the rock over here. If that's wrong, tell me, but I think it makes sense because if you're being quiet, it's just going to keep moving around. Right? Yeah, sure. Okay. Then we're going to draw a terror card. I'm not sure traveling in a group is the best idea. All victims in spaces adjacent to you move into your space. That moves into my space, that moves into my space. Then if my noise was 4, it would attack me, but my noise is not 4, so it's going to move towards the nearest person who is at the water tower and kill them. It's going to attack twice, but they're going to die. Okay. That is, I'm not sure traveling in a group is the best idea, except it still was a straggler by itself, which is funny. So this, I feel like this... I feel like I'm not going to read that story because it doesn't make sense because it didn't actually end up in my space. So we're just going to do a regular one. Nobody knew where the creature had come from or why it was seemingly determined to rid Utopia of anything that made noise. Regardless of the answer, it did so with ruthless efficiency, slaughtering victim after victim. Its most recent catch had been trying to escape Utopia by gunning for it as fast as he could in his car. However, even his souped-up ride didn't compare to the monster's massive speed. Before long, it had caught up to the speeding driver. With a roar, the massive beast smashed into the man's car, throwing it clean off the road, where it rapidly rolled before coming to an abrupt and silent stop. And now we raise this again, and it's going to move further, faster, harder, stronger. Okay, and then we do sand snakes. So first sand snake is going to attack at the water tower, which is, oh my gosh, that's where the killer is. So it does 1 damage to the killer. Boop. Okay, that's good. That might help prevent some panicking. Then the next sand snake comes up, and it's going to attack at the crossroads. So far, the sand snakes have not been too badly problematic to anyone. So I can shoot from where I am because I'm 2 spaces away. Okay. All right. That's the end of that. We go to the upkeep phase, our noise goes back down, and I get to take a turn. So I only have a weak attack, which is not the best attack to have an attack with an attack. So there's a whole lot of words for a whole lot of nothing, but I'm going to use this long rest that I bought to try to heal a bunch. And I got... I'll just take 1 success. We'll heal 1, 2, and 3. That brings me up to full health. It costs me 2 time. My noise goes up by 1. And I'm just going to hold there. And I'm going to spend 4 to take Furious Strike. And that's going to be fantastic, because on the next turn I'm going to be able to start dealing some real damage. As long as I don't die. It's going to move 1 space towards the most quietest person. It's just going to go back where it was coming from, because, yes. Oh, yeah. Nope. Closer is going to be on this room, actually. Then we're going to draw a terror card. Oh, that's turning down. Oh, wow. Lots of ways to die out here. A rattlesnake appears. You may play action cards that inflict damage if you wish. Then, if the rattlesnake is still alive, you will take damage and bad things will happen. The good news is I have a weak attack and I can just attack it with my hands, which is what I'm going to do, and try to kill it. I got 1 success. I take 1 damage from the 1 success that I got, but I killed the rattlesnake. So it slithers away. I don't think that counts as me taking damage from the rattlesnake. I think it's fine. Sand snakes are going to come out. One is going to come out at the electrical tower over here, and the other is going to come out at the trailer park here. And that's it for sand snakes. And yep, that's it. My noise counter goes down to 0. Our deck is starting to wear thin, so it is time to start going on the offensive, which is exactly what we're going to do. We are going to use a Furious Strike. And roll. Do I want to focus first? Is it worth it? I don't think it's worth it. We're gonna take a Furious Strike. I have 4 tiers, so I could do a reroll with. That was 1 success, but I want to get a 2nd success, so we're going to use 2 tiers to reroll this die, and then I can discard a focus and a short rest to turn that into a 2nd success. So yes, it was 2 successes. So 2 plus 2. Oh shoot, I can't do that. I would have had to walk first because I have to get 1 space further away from it to use my gun, which I did. Okay, so we'll have moved 1 space over here away from the general store. Then we would have done the Furious Strike, which does 2 plus 2 is 4. So that's 3 damage from the boss and getting rid of Blinding Speed. And I have 1 bullet left, which I'm going to save for a critical blow. I'm going to right now sell my focus card to get 1 more time so that at the end of my turn I can buy that critical blow. And that's it for me. Okay. Sand Snake moves, the boss moves 1 space closer to us, draws a terror card. I have a bad feeling about this. We gain 1 horror, moving from 3 to 4, and then we increase the noise level by 1 up to 2 and draw the next terror card. Uh-oh, we got louder. Next terror card. If we're careful, we just might make it. Place the eyeless on your space. So whenever it enters my space, I automatically heal 1, so that's nice. Then I can reduce the noise level by 1 for every 2 time that I spend. So I'm going to spend 2 time to reduce it by 1, bringing it to 1, so that instead of killing me, it just kills one of these victims, because that would have been terrible. If we're careful, we just might make it. So it's good to keep people with me for that reason. The girl's hand grips tightly against yours as you navigate through the now silent utopia. Each breath she takes feels like gunshots to your ears, and your own thudding heartbeat sounds like a damn orchestra. But you've almost made it. The actual town part of Utopia is far behind. You can get this girl, if you can get this girl just a little farther into the mountain, she'll be safe from that thing, right? But then you feel her hand start to slip as she topples forward, her foot caught on a rock, and despite your best efforts, you hear a loud thud as her body hits the ground. For a beat, it seems like everything's okay, and then a flurry of motion and a loud scream later, and her hand is all you're left holding. You choke back a sob and start trekking back to town. The time for morning will come later. You still have a job to do. I do indeed have a job to do. I forgot to say. Okay, so that is going to raise our bloodlust. It's going to raise our horror from 4 to 5. So very sad. And then we're going to have sand snakes. The sand snake attacks at the house, which is here. And then a sand snake attacks at the Jeep trail, which is here. So we are still okay. Only 1 terror card remains, so things are going to get pretty nasty soon. Oh, shoot! When I attacked the eyeless, I was supposed to place it in my space and lose 1 life. So I would have... That would have brought me to full, and then I would have lost 1. And then I wouldn't have moved it this turn, because it was already in my space. and then it would have done its attack, and all of those things. Okay, fine. It is going to move 1 space towards the nearest thing. And this thing always moves around. We've already decided that move 1 space means it must move 1 space. So it's going to head to that general store. All right, so before I shoot it with the rifle, I'm still going to need to move 1 space away. So we're going to use this walk. And I whiffed it. All right, so we're going to move to the mountain pass. We're going to lose 1 health. We're going to lose 2 time, which brings us down to 2, which sucks. And we're going to rescue this person. So whenever I save a victim, I get a time back. So that's pretty good. Now I can attack. Ooh, okay, I've got 4 things in here, which means I'll be able to reroll any of all dice. That's good. We're going to use critical blow with the scoped rifle. That is terrible. We're going to use all 4 of these to reroll all of our dice. And now I got 2 successes. Yes, it worked exactly as I planned. So that is 2 plus 3 is 5 damage to the eyeless. So I did a nice big blow there. Whenever I attack it, I place it in my space. It came to my space, so I heal 1, and then I lose 1 life. I still have 3 time left. So I'm going to get a guard for 2, a close call for 1, and we are going to take all of this stuff. Because I don't want to raise that time any higher. Yeah, raising time is poopy. Oh, I can't throw this because it has a high range, so having that time is not wise. Okay, well, we'll see how this plays out. Okay, at the beginning of the killer's turn, the killer is going to move 1 space towards the nearest person. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'll come towards the Jeep Trail because that's where somebody was last. We're going to draw our last terror card, Unlimited Endurance. That sounds terrible. If the eyeless is at full health when this is revealed, discard it. Oh my god. We restore the eyeless to full health. Oh no, brah. That was so... Oh, ow. Ow. That was terrible. After revealing Sand Snakes this turn, we're going to reshuffle the deck. The Sand Snake will attack at the sheep farm, which is not helpful to me. And, oh boy, I did so much, and everything I did has just been taken away. And now I have no weapon. I've got a lot of poop. It's going to be absolutely terrible. So the closest store to me is still the general store. I doubt that there's going to be another weapon in there, but I feel like that's still the best idea is to just kind of go for it. Oh no, I was doing so good too. All right, well, let's see what our finale is, because it's about to get real gross up in here. I got the epic finale of Final Slash. If you take 1 or more damage from the eyeless's attack, lose all of your remaining health. I was so close, and she's just gonna die. It's like I got to the final credits, and then Jason Voorhees jumped out of the water at me. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. That was so sad. Do I even have a way to move? I do, I have a walk. Alright, well, let's head towards that general store, baby. Wait, is there anything else I should do first? Just regular focuses. That's not going to get me where I need. Okay, we're gonna head towards the general store, and I whiffed it. So we're gonna move 1 space, lose 1 life, and lose 2 time. Excellent. Well, I guess that means it's time to do a short. Is it time to do a short rest? I don't think there's any point in doing a short rest, because that thing does all damage anyway, so we're just going to focus and try to get that horror level down. Right, that was 1 success on that, so that goes down 1. We're going to focus again, try to get that horror level down. We whiffed that too. Oh boy. So we lose 2 time. We're going to spend 3 of these to get that horror level down. And then I have 1 to spend for a close call. Oh, fudge pickles. I was so close, y'all. It was so close. Okay. Well. Okay, so the killer is going to move towards a victim or the final girl. I am 2 spaces away. That is 3 spaces away. So it's going to come right to me. I heal 1 whenever it enters my space. And then it is going to attack me for 3. And I am going to try to retaliate. I whiffed my retaliate. So it does full damage to me, and I die. Poor Meghan. Oh, I was doing so good, and then it all fell apart. That was wild. I was doing so good, and then it was just like that last terror card was the worst thing ever. And then I got Final Slash, which was the worst thing ever. And I died. It was terrible. Okay, well that was it. That was it for today. So that was the 5th and final feature. Next time we're gonna do Death from Destiny, which is the Final Destination pack, which I'm so excited about. I haven't decided where that's going to sit. It is either going to be Camp Happy Trails or Falconwood or the mall or Elm Street. But we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out what I want to do. Probably Happy Trails just to keep it simple because those things can be really, those vignettes can be complicated. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Do not forget, keep those health bars full. Thank you and have a great night.